Hi guys, it's Angie with Fun Endeavors Tie-Dye Lab. Today let's make an ice dye using Carina Nebula. This is a new color, or new to me, color from Grateful Dyes that's considered one of their cluster dust dyes. I think it's created especially for ice dyeing. I'm going to do a double diagonal fan fold for this design. And I'm starting with the shirt turned inside out. And I'm going to fold one corner of the hem up past the opposite shoulder of the shirt, essentially folding the shirt diagonally, not totally in half, but close. Then using an old piece of sinew and a washable marker, I'm going to draw an arc on this portion of the shirt. This is the line that I'm going to use to fan fold. Once I have the line fan folded, I'm going to hold the folds in place with some kite string. And then I'm going to continue the fan folds on either side of this initial line. I went ahead and sped this part of the video up, but if you'd like to watch it a little slower, there's a settings icon on YouTube. You can click on that icon and change your playback speed. You can either speed it up or slow it down. Once I have the shirt tied, I'm going to go ahead and put it aside for a few days, so by the time I actually apply the dye to it, it's going to be completely dry. It doesn't necessarily need to be, I was just in the middle of some other projects. So here is my color swatch that I'm using for inspiration for the Carina Nebula color. And these are the colors that I've chosen to go with it. For my setup, I've placed the shirt on top of a long metal rack, and then place the long metal rack over the top of a long plastic tote. I'm going to use some silicone cake molds, attach them together, and then wrap them around the shirt and hold them up next to the shirt by attaching some wooden clothespins to my metal rack. This is going to be my ice barrier to keep the ice on the shirt. Because the shirt is completely dry, I'm going to lightly spray it with a little bit of a soda ash solution that I've placed inside of a plastic spray bottle. This will help for the dye to stick to the top of the shirt a little bit better. On the left side of the screen is the part of the shirt where I drew the arc and I fan folded that initial line. I want to highlight this color, so I'm going to place the Carina Nebula in that area. I'm also going to ultimately incline this shirt. So that's the part of the shirt that's going to be at the top of the incline. Then the rest of the colors I'm going to repeat twice on this shirt. So I'm going to begin by doing a line of amber waves from Dharma Trading Company. Then I'm going to skip an area and do another line of amber waves. Right outside of amber waves, I'm using seashell blue from Grateful Dyes. And I'm going to use bronze from Dharma Trading Company. Now I'm going to add a little bit of additional dry soda ash over the top of the die and add on some ice. Once I have all the ice on the shirt, I'm going to take one end of this metal rack, place it down inside of this plastic tote, and leave the other end hanging off the edge. That's going to incline the shirt. Then I'm going to place this container aside and allow the ice to melt. After this first layer of ice melted, I came back and I had quite a bit of undissolved dye left sitting on top, so I went ahead and added another layer of ice. Then I allowed that layer to melt. And after that layer of ice melted, I took this shirt and placed it down inside of another plastic tote that has a metal rack in the bottom. I placed the lid on the tote and set the shirt aside and allowed it to process for about 48 hours before I began rinsing it. Then to rinse the shirt, I took it to my utility sink and I started rinsing it in cold water to rinse out the soda ash. I untied the shirt and warmed the water up to hot and continued rinsing in hot water to rinse out the excess dye that didn't bond with the fabric. Instead of continuing to rinse for a long time, I ran some really hot water in my utility sink, added just a little bit of Blue Dawn dish soap to the water, placed the shirt inside, and allowed it to soak. When the water cooled off, I changed it out and I continued that soaking process until my water was remaining almost clear. Then I placed the shirt along with some Dharma's professional textile detergent into my washing machine and I washed it using a hot water cycle. Okay, so I've washed, dried, and ironed the shirt, and let's see what this Carina Nebula looks like. Okay, so what do you guys think? I think Carina Nebula is a really cool color, and I think this is a really cool shirt. I like the way the colors are streaking down the shirt. That's one of the things that I really like about this design. You know, this is kind of one of my favorite designs to do. I love to do it with gravity dies, just an incline die like this. I just think it's a really fun design. And I like the colors that I paired with the Carina Nebula. I think that the amber waves works really well right outside of that color. They kind of blend together and mix together, and I think that looks great. Then I like the little pop of blue and then the bronze. I think that is a great addition to the shirt as well. So I really like this. I mean, I think it looks really pretty. And I like this new color. Grateful Dyes has quite a few new dye colors that they're mixing for ice dyes. I bought Carina Nebula and I bought Pillars of Creation. And I've used both of those and I think they're really cool. The color combination I used on this shirt almost looks a little bit like an ocean scene, you know, with the sand and the water. I don't know, it just kind of reminds me of that. So I really love this shirt, but what do you guys think? Please drop me some comments down below and let me know. And if you've enjoyed watching the video, I sure would appreciate it if you would like it and if you'd subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you'll hit the bell, you'll receive a notification whenever I upload a new video. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you have a great day.